Hello everyone, my name is Denise. I'm a Catholic counselor, and today I'll be doing part 2 of the book review of The Four Loves by C.S. Lewis. So, C.S. Lewis was a British writer, literary scholar, and Anglican lay theologian who also was for a time a professor at Oxford, at Cambridge, and he wrote many great books. The most famous one of which, the Chronicles of Narnia, made into many movie adaptations, and also Screwtape Letters. But today I'll be talking about The Four Loves. This is part 2 of the review. Okay, so C.S. Lewis lived from 1898 to 1963. So he lived in a different world from us. But yet a lot of what he writes here is still relevant. Some of it is not, and I'll be discussing that as well. Okay, let's start with this. Page 71. But in friendship, in that luminous, tranquil, rational world of relationships freely chosen, you got away from all that. This alone of all the loves seem to raise you to the level of gods or angels. So he repeats that point at page 93. This love, free from instinct, free from all duties but those which love has freely assumed, almost wholly free from jealousy and free from qualification, from the need to be needed, is eminently spiritual. It is the sort of love one can imagine between angels. Okay, so of course he gave a more detailed exposition of that within the chapter, but the point he's raising is that friendship, he actually made reference to the Aristotelian notion of friendship, that friends gather together drawn by the love of a common subject or object. For example, we could both really love God a lot, and we love to sit around and talk about God all day long. So it is God that brings us together. So he actually writes heavily upon that, and also for someone maybe as intelligent and as talented as C.S. Lewis, it's very hard to find someone who was on equal footing as him to have a good friendship, because he also reiterates that you not only need to have a common interest, you also need to have a common level of intellectual prowess in order to connect at the same level, and that's very rare. But when you do find it, it is really the most sublime kind of relationship. Okay, so let's move on. So I just want to pause briefly. This is almost like a giant tangent, but it's about friendship as well, okay? Lamb says somewhere that if of three friends A, B, and C, A should die, that B loses not only A, but A's part in C, while C loses not only A, but A's part in B. In each of my friends, there is something that only some other friend can fully bring out. By myself, I'm not large enough to call the whole man into activity, and one other lights than my own to show all his facets. Now that Charles is dead, I shall never again see Ronald's reaction to a specifically Caroline joke. Okay, very succinctly and beautifully put. So friendship sometimes does not only have to occur maybe between A and B. If you have like a group of friends, A, B, C, D, and E, it is it's extremely enjoyable, because we each bring out different parts of the other. So okay, this is Jacob Moreno, role theory, brings it out nicely about role theory, right? Role theory. If you are a very humorous friend, you also bring out the humorous friend in the other person. They're complementary roles. The joke teller and the laugher at jokes, okay? So every person is a special variant of joke teller, and it will bring out a different kind of laughter. So once this role is gone, then this role vanishes as well. So not only are you grieving the loss of a friend, but the loss of the reaction of all the other friends in that circle. Such a beautiful thing to think about. Okay. Also, as I'm reading all this, I thought that C.S. Lewis really reached quite a height of human actualization, to be in such a place of deep peace and what's that? Just he's quite an integrated person to the extent that he can appreciate these finer nuances in life. And maybe in a way, now that I appreciate his writing, I'm also getting there, and that's a comforting notion to chew upon. You know, that I'm no longer trying to struggle for survival, and I can now chew on deeper things like friendship. Okay, this is quite interesting. This is where I was telling you how his society is slightly different from ours. This is on page 88. In one respect, our society is unfortunate. A world where men and women never have common work or common education can probably get along comfortably enough. In it, men turn to each other and only to each other for friendship, and they enjoy it very much. I hope the women enjoy their feminine friends equally. Again, a world where all men and women had sufficient ground for this relationship could also be comfortable. At present, however, we fall between two stools. The necessary common ground, the matrix, exists between the sexes in some groups but not in others. Okay, so in C.S. Lewis' time, it's not very common to have females as well educated as men. So for him, it's almost like an old boys club. They'll sit together in a salon and talk about ideas. One of his famous friends, J.R.R. Tolkien, the writer of The Lord of the Rings. So I'm very grateful that now in 2025 it's no longer like this. Men and women educated in the same classrooms can now form good, solid friendships. And that's beautiful. Okay. So let me see if I can just close with one last one. Okay, so like between the page of 90 to 98, or even before that, he was alluding to how higher authority might be a bit suspicious of friendship groups forming, and how like within a friendship group we tend to have a kind of like Borg mentality. Oh, I finally find the person who gets me. I get you, you get me. Okay, let's just lean into each other and ignore the whole world. Finally, I find someone to match my genius. So it's a kind of a very exclusive kind of understanding that is almost immune to influence from the outside. Okay, and so this is a controversial comment, but it's quite good as well. I'm going to read it. But the habit of not giving a damn grows on a class. To discount the voice of the peasant where it really ought to be discounted makes it easier to discount his voice when he cries for justice or mercy. The partial deafness, which is noble and necessary, encourages the wholesale deafness, which is arrogant and inhumane. Very good. What it means is, which is what I said, if you tend to, okay, for example, we are talking about very deep, very difficult, very intellectual stuff, of which like maybe me and my best friend, we understand, but people don't understand, so we get used to discounting their thoughts. But one day, when they have something genuinely worthy to be listened to, we get so used to discounting them, like not giving a damn about them, that we don't even listen to that anymore. So that's the danger of friendship. So that can happen in many contexts. For example, a group of academics, right? All trained to a very high level of academic appreciation of a particular topic. So when a lay person like me comes in, it might seem so easy to discount what I have to say. Okay, so I don't know why, but the story of Curie de Ars, the patron saint of priests, is popping into my head. He's not a bright person. In fact, they sent him far away to a village far away because they're worried that, okay, I'm going to make you a priest, but I'm worried that your theology is so bad that you're going to mislead people. So go far away and don't be a big threat but still he was so holy and so good that people just flocked to that faraway village to listen to him. So the point is, this arrogance and self-aggrandizement, and which can happen, is pleasurable also because two friends finally meet and understand each other. But if we block everything out, we can make that mistake of discounting someone maybe as virtuous, as even QEDRs, if he comes to us and tell us something that really ought to be paid attention to. So that's something very interesting to think about. Okay, so I guess I'm about 2/3 through. There might be a third part depending on how fast I can read this. I'm not feeling so well lately. The last 3 weeks have been sick, feverish and all that, so it's impeding my ability to stay awake and to read. Although I try to still read a few pages a day, but please be patient as I complete the book and create more content for you. Thank you so much, everybody, and happy voting this Saturday. Please vote wisely and select people to lead our country well. Thanks so much, and God bless.